All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to episode 55 of TSGG Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Bork. With me this week, we've got Kailey. Hey, Kailey.
Hey, everybody.
And Jake.
Hello.
What's up, my man?
Same old.
This is show number 2 of our E3.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, that's a good word. And this week, we'll be covering Nintendo's E3 showing and Square Enix.
Yay.
And you can watch us you can watch us record this show live at mixer.com/TSGG_online, or you can watch it at youtube.com/The Society. Most weeks, not this week. This is an audio show only. Our camera remains dead.
It is broken.
You can also get the audio version on YouTube and on all of the major podcast services out there, like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and the others. Both versions post on Fridays, and they will always be free. You can be part of the show by writing in your questions and comments to tsggchat@gmail.com. And if you want to help us continue to grow, please consider becoming a level 1 member at patreon.com/TSGG. For $1 a month, you will get early access to the ad-free versions of this show on Thursdays, and we always answer Patreon member questions on the show first. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the TSGG, at Kevin_Bork, at TSGG_Brett, at Shippy_D, at Guyon Gaming, and at Kailey Gardens to stay up to date on recording times and all other info you may just want to say.
Hey.
That's the corniest thing I've seen.
That was the worst one so far.
That's hilarious.
Especially because my voice cracked too.
E3 continues. We'll start first with the Nintendo Direct. So, right out of the gate, this is coming from /Gear. They put together a list of all the trailers from the Direct, so we're going to go through them and talk about them. Out first came the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate reveal for their next DLC character, which is going to be the hero from the Dragon Quest series. Also, they have a bunch of different skins, and there's some pretty cool abilities, too. So, the hero of Dragon Quest joins. Excited?
Yeah. What do you think about that, Brett? Oh.
I'm excited.
It's usually Brennan.
No, Brett's the one who likes that one.
It's Brennan.
Pretty sure Brett's the last one who played Dragon Quest, though.
Yeah, that's true. Brett played that a lot. I mean, I
thought you were talking about Smash Bros. Because Brennan was the champion.
I love Dragon Quest, and I think it's going to be kind of neat to see him in there, but I just hope he's not anything like all of the other sword-wielding characters on Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Another sword wielder.
You mean you don't think it's going to be the same mechanics?
It's going to be Roy.
Well, no, because
Roy with a twist.
This one has like the turn-based meters that pop up.
Yeah, yep.
So that's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if he has the same type of counter mechanics as all the other ones, but I know that he's going to have at least something to do with his little mark on his hand. Oh.
Yeah. You guys can continue conversation, okay?
We were watching
Kevin,
you.
Don't watch me.
You've got
Do not
two
watch
introverts in the room. We need prompting.
We're about to talk, like every time you decide to move someplace, I'm like, and Kevin moves.
I'm allowed to move, okay?
Kevin
He's doing
is
a
now
little dance
staring
over
at
here
his
now.
phone.
So up next was the reveal for Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
So that was a lot of words.
That is all the title of the game. You will go to your game store and say that title is what you want, and
Yes.
they will hand that.
They're
to you.
going to be like that thing, that does that stuff.
I'd like the Dragon's Quest Elusive
you already brought it
SR11.
Hi, sir or madam. I would like Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, please.
That's coming
Say
for the
it
Switch.
3 times fast.
That's cool that it's coming for the Switch, though. That's amazing.
Yeah, so they've been teasing it for a long time, and this year the company gave the game almost top billing during the Direct. So it's coming out on September 27th.
I love how they do that. Like, you see a game, you get a date for the game, it's going to be ready.
Nintendo's always almost like that.
Except
Yeah,
for
Nintendo's known for this one.
your game,
My game?
which they pushed till next year.
Which game was that?
For good reason.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If it's
We'll
not,
get to it.
If it's
We're
not
getting
ready,
there.
it's not ready.
Up next was Luigi's Mansion 3,
Yo,
which, surprising to me, looks fantastic.
it looks so fun.
I mean, I know Kevin's going to want to play it because it's basically Ghostbusters Mario.
What is it?
Yeah. Luigi, please.
And
Not Mario.
and
Mario World,
So,
Mario Universe, whatever.
no, this is... So,
I know it's
Mario's
Luigi.
AAA. This is basically like a AA game.
stop it.
It's a AA game.
No.
Come on, get with it. It
You're
is.
just saying it's AA because it's Luigi. Don't ever.
It's the B list.
That man is a saint. So, if anybody's ever
Luigi.
played Luigi's Haunted Mansion or whatever it is, was it?
Yeah, Luigi's.
I mean, this is the third
Luigi's
version
Haunted
of
The
it.
Mansion.
first one was like Mario was missing and he had to find
He's
him.
still missing. He's still missing.
And Luigi always had that little prompt. It's like Mario.
Yeah, he's.
Mario.
So interesting thing about that is you have 4 prompts now, and they're all on the D-pad this time. So at any time you can throw that out there.
Mario.
One more time
Yeah,
for
this
the
game
class.
looks. This game looks really good.
Mario.
That was your Luigi Mario.
Luigi.
Turn it into Gooigi over here. Gooigi's the new character for Luigi's Mansion 3, so you're going to be changing back and forth as Soul jumps from regular Luigi to Gooigi to help you solve puzzles.
Some places you can only get through using Luigi,
True.
but don't mix him with water.
No.
Not a good time.
Oh no.
If you touch him to water, he just melts into a puddle.
Oh no.
Yep. And when you transfer the soul from Luigi to Gooigi, Luigi just like hunches over. And he's
Slump.
just standing there. He's slumped.
That's terrifying.
He's a slump. This also had a multiplayer reveal, and they had 4-player co-op. So Nintendo at E3, they do their Direct, and they also do their Treehouse Live event. And Treehouse Live, they basically have developer interviews and gameplay all throughout 3 days.
Yeah.
So you get like 30 minutes, maybe more, of gameplay. And you're going to get a couple segments of that. So they'll show off, like they showed off for Luigi's Mansion 3, they showed off single player, and then the next day they showed off the multiplayer, each of them getting 20 to 30 minutes focused.
That's gonna be
segments.
fun though. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a game like that to have
That's
multiplayer.
couch
Yeah.
co-op, right?
It is.
Nice.
And the multiplayer, they showed 4-player co-op. You can do local, ad hoc, online as well.
That's cool.
And yeah, I like that they're keeping the ad hoc going with their games. But the multiplayer, so you get 4 players, and there are rooms in the mansion, and you don't necessarily start together, but you need to locate each other, and you're just smashing ghosts all the way through. So that's pretty cool.
Mario.
All right, we're moving on. This one actually didn't get a release date other than it will be 2019. I'm going to predict it'll probably be in October. That fits with the Halloween theme.
Yeah.
Then a surprise one for me came up. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. So this is one of the Netflix games.
Nice to see them dabbling a little bit into different genres. They're making the Witcher series. So
Yeah. Bonus XP and en masse entertainment are crafting a tactical strategy game based on Netflix's The Dark Crystal series, also of
that Jim Henson?
Yep.
fame. And
So
this
it's
launches in 2019. No release date yet, though. So
the puppetry looks
RTS.
really cool.
I haven't seen like the new Dark Crystal though, so I haven't seen
No, me
anything about
either.
it yet. Like any commercials or anything like that. I haven't seen
I
nothing.
haven't.
I love the first one because
I would
was
say check out the trailer because the cinematics and stuff are really cool, really dark.
Yeah.
I bet. I didn't get to see this one either, so I didn't see much about it.
Yeah, it's a really cool trailer. The next one after that one was Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which honestly, at the one of their previous directs, I wasn't too pumped for this. But then I saw this, and I was like,
it looks freaking
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, this looks really good. So this one actually got a release date, I believe.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
September 20th, yes.
Right, and they came with, and the actual collector's edition comes with, it comes with the actual Game Boy.
Yeah,
The tin?
the Game Boy Steelbook, that is UK only.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
the
not
one
depressing.
the one that was for the US only came with the art book.
That's upsetting because that's like part of my childhood right there.
But the special Link amiibo that's compatible with the game will be available on September 20th as well.
I'm actually kind of excited for it because anything retold through this when they're and some remakes deserve to be remade, and when you're talking about older school like Zelda games, I think most of them should be done properly. Like if anybody's played like Zelda: A Link to the Past, it was one of the best Zelda games, at least by far in my opinion, that was
That's
ever
the
released.
one that I played.
Yeah, for Super Nintendo. It was amazing. I think that should be remade too.
Which one was the one that was on GameCube? Or not GameCube, the Game Boy. Is that one?
There's the Minish Cap. There's like so many
I thought
of
it was
them.
Link to the Past.
That's Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening was.
Yeah, that's the Game Boy one.
That's the one that was on Game Boy because the Game Boy screen was so shitty. They actually used Mario bad guys to be in there so you could see them because they fit. So, like, Chain Chomp
Yep.
is in this game.
Oh.
And it's
No, the one-
because Chain Chomp worked well on that screen, and you could tell that was an enemy type
Mm-hmm.
because you were used to it. And then, so in the remake, they're actually keeping Chain Chomp and like Goombas and shit in the game, which is really cool. And then, so we saw this, and they did a 30-minute demo of this during the Treehouse Live, and I gotta say, this game looks stunning. It's a traditional top-down dungeon crawler Zelda experience, but the colors and the clarity of it,
Super
But
vibrant.
the 3D aspect is really cool too.
it's super
Like,
well done.
I'm always really concerned when it comes to a 2D game being rendered in 3D. Like how is it going to play? And this one looks really good.
The thing about this is I don't think they're going to be changing much about the actual mechanics of the game other than adding more features than you wouldn't have at that time.
Right.
So I think you're going to experience the game just almost similar to what it was in the Game Boy, but it's going to be
so much better.
pretty, and it's going to have much
This
more
is-
mechanical
Like
value.
what they would have wished to be able to use had they had that at their disposal.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I actually haven't played Link's Awakening, so I look forward to getting my hands on that one. That's on my purchase list for sure.
They had the Dungeon Maker too, which is a neat
Oh
little
yeah, we didn't
feature.
even touch on that. So the Dungeon Maker, do you want to talk about that?
You get to place chambers based on the adventures that you've completed, and you get to make your own dungeon, which is pretty cool.
So not only is it just you make your own dungeon and then you go through it, you actually will earn rewards for going through it.
Yes.
So it's not just like a waste of time type thing that they just
No,
tacked
it's
on.
a really cool little bonus feature, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's
I've never really seen anything like that
something
before.
cool, like because we live together. I could make a dungeon and then give it to you to go through, and you won't even know it's a brand new dungeon for you. I don't know if there's going to be like an online component to that or anything where players
Probably.
can do stuff like that.
It's probably gonna. I mean,
So-
they've been kind of fiddling with that for a while. The
That would
dungeon
be
making.
really cool.
I mean,
yeah.
think about like what was it, Mario Maker?
Yeah, Super
Yeah.
Mario Maker
I
2 is just
I don't think
coming
it's.
out right
I
now.
don't think it's a stretch to have them make dungeons and post them online.
Yeah.
Mario Maker, Zelda Maker.
That would be dope.
Wind Waker.
Okay, that's
Too far.
not the same thing.
Too
No,
far.
That's a
but it
boat.
rhymed though.
It did. Still a boat though.
Up next was not Wind Waker. It
Mario.
was Trials of Mana.
Yo.
So, Jake, did you play these?
I played some of them, and I was too young to actually appreciate them. So for me, I would probably be more appreciative of them now that I've matured and actually didn't get complicated
It feels like you're
with games.
sort of niche. That's why I just assumed that you must have played at least one of them.
I have played Mana games. Yeah, I've played a couple of them.
I have never, but
Trials of Mana is a remake
I think this is actually
from the ground up
yeah,
with 3D graphics.
looks so pretty.
and they had the collection of mana as well.
Collection of Mana was announced right after that. Yeah, and I believe that released.
Thanks.
That released
Yes.
then during the show for $39.99 US on the eShop. So the compilation collects the first 3 games in the Mana series, and if you're unacquainted with the franchise as a whole, it seems like a good place to start.
So all of you who like these are typical JRPGs. So if you're talking, they're giving you 3 JRPGs that were built from the ground up. That's hundreds of hours
For
of
$40
gameplay.
bucks.
$40.
Yeah, that's a lot of
like-
gameplay.
Do you have a lot of downtime? Because got you covered.
And I just want to make something very clear to you all that are thinking, more retro games, stuff like that. Playing them in handheld mode on the Switch is incredible. It just really is. Like, I was playing Punch-Out last night
Yes, he
on the
was.
NES Classics lineup, and I chose Pixel Perfect mode. And man, that game looks so good. It's a regular Nintendo game. And it's just like, that's a vibrant game. I was just
Punch-Out.
playing it on the Switch, and yeah, I was knocking out Soda Popinski. Actually, no, I didn't. He tore me up, but I'll
He
get
just
him.
want to say his name.
Gotta learn how to dodge.
So after the collection of Mana came a surprise that
So
wasn't
good.
a surprise, but it was a surprise. So it's something that had been rumored, if you follow the game industry for a while, that would be coming to Switch, and then everybody's like, oh, that would be incredible, but no, the Switch couldn't handle it. But now Nintendo says, you know
You
what?
sure about that?
The Switch can handle it. The Witcher 3 Complete Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch.
That's amazing.
Yes.
My mind is blown.
Let me tell you what that says for this little tiny machine that's handheld. That's The Witcher 3 is not a game to be sneezed at in any way, shape, or form. That's hours and hours of gameplay at a very, 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 very pretty game with relatively high skill level, depending.
Yeah. You get the
There's just-
base game, you get the expansions that were paid, and you get all 16 pieces of free DLC.
So many. They had so many of them.
Plus,
Do you know
inside
how many
the
hundreds
box,
of hours that you can sink into that too?
That's a lot of time.
inside the box is the cartridge, and there are stickers and cards and stuff.
Oh, they probably have the same sticker stuff that they had for the other Witcher, like the wolf.
Now, there are some downgrades to it. I believe in undocked mode, which is handheld mode, the game plays in 540p.
Oh no!
And in docked mode, I believe it plays at 720p.
Oh no!
I
But
mean,
they said the resolution decrease doesn't affect the performance. That's what it was needed for the performance.
Well, and
So
I don't know. You gotta. This is also you're playing on a very tiny screen,
Yeah,
so
I
I
was
don't
gonna
think
say-
Right,
500. 500.
I'm thinking it probably will end up looking like a higher end PlayStation 3 game, which is fine.
I disagree with that. I
think
think
it'd be
it's.
better
I
than
think
that?
it's going to look exactly almost the same, probably.
Almost the same?
I think
No,
so.
no
I mean,
way.
I think you're probably going to miss some small details, but I think the game is going to
Almost
look
the same as
crystal
what?
clear. The Witcher, you pick.
Almost the same as
The Witcher 3.
Nowhere near the quality of the PS4 Pro or Xbox One.
Okay,
X.
so hold on. You're comparing up.
You're talking about OG,
Yeah.
the
I'm-
original
yes.
Xbox One and PS4. Okay,
I think
I'll give you that.
I think it's going to look close to that. You're fucking
It could probably come close to that one.
literally
yeah.
saying, "Oh yeah, it's the best of the best." That's what they're going to compare it
but
to. Nah,
let
nah.
us
No,
not
I had
overlook
to-
the
I had
fact
to
that
get
it's handheld.
Yeah, true.
Like
yeah, you're playing The Witcher 3 on the road.
That's amazing.
you
The
got a
complete
long
edition.
commute. There you go.
That's amazing.
Got you covered. Let us not
Man, I
even
don't
touch
know.
on the Gwentness.
Oh, dude.
no.
Gwent on the Switch.
Too many hours of Gwent, can't do it. I played Gwent in real life. It was fun.
I would bet it would be.
Yeah, it's an amazing card game.
They should make more Gwent.
They should. And not the loot box Gwent.
Give me the physical
that one.
Gwent CD Projekt Red. Give me the physical cards in my hand
Do
right
you
now.
want a quick cash grab? release this as a card game.
Bro, I would
Yeah,
be buying too much of it.
So The Witcher 3 is coming. I don't think that one has a date, but it's 2019.
I'm probably end of the year, just like what you had.
And then
That
up
looks so
next
good.
is most likely going to be Nintendo's best offering this year. If it's not Link's Awakening, it would most likely be this one. Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, this one looks so good.
Yeah,
That's-
man.
Let me tell you what our little chat, because we all talk to each other almost daily. The thing that I see every single day is Brennan saying how much he loves the Three Houses. That's pretty much his literally existence right now.
So this game actually comes out July 26th, which is right around the corner. So in the direct, we got to see basically an anime, and it was
yes, please.
all trailers. And then in the Treehouse Live, they did a 30-minute video of playing the game, and this game looks great. The lady that was playing the game was a developer, and I just hope that I can play at half of her level because she was incredible. She made a move and was like, I just want to show you what this character does. And she was like, oh no, I should have done that. I'm trapped and this character's going to die. And then she was like, well, I can just do this. And then she saved them and wiped everybody else out. My character would have died. So that's master level.
I mean,
right
if she's a developer, let's hope she'd know how to get herself out of it.
there. True.
Yeah, doesn't mean that you're good at strategy.
Factual. I mean, strategy
Yeah.
games are I don't know. I'm not very good at strategy games. I'm decent.
I like them. I'm
She
not.
was a
I'm not
master
the
of the
most skilled at
battlefield.
them, but I like them.
Right.
So Fire Emblem Three Houses, July 26th. That is going to be something special.
That's going to consume some lives there.
Yep.
That is a total game changer for the Fire Emblem series coming to Switch for the first time, and it's looking to change the series as a whole.
The way how they presented the story looks a lot different from the previous iterations that I've had experience with.
Yeah, and then
So-
we didn't even touch on, like, you will be commanding a school this time. So, like, you're developing characters and your support cast through schooling and education and stuff. So much to dive into right
I don't
there.
know if anybody else is like me, or I'm literally struggling to pick what house I'm going to be in. Like, I don't know. I want to do all of them. I can't. How do you choose? How do you pick? Like, it's something arbitrary. Like, oh, do I just pick by the sigil, like Kevin was going?
I mean, it's not a bad option.
I mean, do they have a lot of information on the houses currently?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
They've been releasing things like every day.
We've been
my
talking
choices
about it a
is
lot.
usually when I pick something, it's got to be fucking rad. Like it's
Yeah.
got to be the coolest house there. I'm like, that's
But
perfect.
But
That's the
they're,
problem.
They're all
They're all
equally rad
really
in
cool.
different ways.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's got to
How do you
be
pick?
more towards what's tailored for you, I guess. Or tailored to you, I guess. Whatever.
yeah, all three of them.
Yeah.
All three of them appeal to different parts of my, I don't know, play style, I guess.
So, yeah, that one's coming out right around the corner next month, July 26th. We'll be playing that one for sure. So stay tuned to the
Will we?
YouTube channel for that one. Oh, we definitely will.
Oh, we will, but we might have to borrow somebody's because we're on a wedding quest.
True.
They're out to successfully achieve the mission of life.
Ultimate goal.
Yep. Get married, you cute fucks.
Thanks. Up next was the most awkward of the direct, or the lowest point, I would say. We have a very, very lengthy trailer
Oh yeah, that was
of
this
two
was
people going into a
painful.
haunted house to play the original Resident Evil game, which is already out on Nintendo Switch. And they played it, and they were terrified. And then the end of the trailer revealed that Resident Evil 5 and 6 are also coming to the Switch.
Oh,
But nobody really cares about 5 and 6, so that's why they focused the trailer on Resident Evil and that you could play it on the Switch on the go. Resident Evil 5 and 6 also available on the Switch. We're moving on.
Yeah, and like
That's exactly how it felt in the direct.
it was really like the idea was kind of cute, but then the execution was horrible. Like I was just like, why? Where are we going? Why are we doing this?
Hey, not
Yeah.
all of
But-
those ideas are great. Let's just focus
I
on that.
mean,
Sometimes they'll come
they
up
tried.
with
They tried.
Yeah, they didn't have a solid release date. They just said fall, and it just said it showed like all the other Resident Evils that are already out, and then it's just like, and 5 and 6 are coming this fall. Moving on.
Nah, they should have ended it with and 7.
No, they're not doing that one.
Man, 7 is amazing.
It is.
First of all, like we already know when it's coming out. It's going to be in October. Let's be realistic. They're all going to come out in October, just along with Luigi. Because might as well. It's spooky
Resident
time.
Evil Luigi crossover.
I mean, it could be
Resident
early
Luigi.
November.
Luigi Evil.
And then we got
Mario.
up after that was surprise reveal for No More Heroes 3. Travis Strikes Again.
I played the first one. I did not. I cannot stress enough how amazing the studio is. I think it's
It's Suda 51.
Yep.
Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes isn't even 6 months old yet. But already Grasshopper Manufacturer is onto what's next for the franchise.
My God.
We'll see Travis return to Santa Destroy after 10 years in No More Heroes 3. But beyond that, the trailer doesn't really give much.
I don't. It's
And
going to be
this is one of the
amazing.
ones that is slated for 2020.
That one looked super cool. I haven't played anything else in the series, but I'm like kind of like, oh, this looks fun.
I mean, I played a couple different games from Suda 51. No More Heroes on the Wii, and then I also played Mad World, I'm pretty sure it was called.
Love Mad.
Mad World, yeah.
It was the black and white game.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean,
That was
Greg
my
Proops.
Greg Proops and guy who does Bender's voice.
John DiMaggio.
Yes.
So we got to
Thank
move
you.
on.
I don't know why I blinked.
oh,
Up next.
Stop for a second.
No, we can't talk about Mad
It's
World
my
tonight.
favorite.
This is the Nintendo
Love that
Direct
game.
of E3.
All right.
Up next was Contra Rogue Core. This is probably the second strangest thing that we saw.
Yeah.
This was a Contra game that is in works for the Switch that comes out on September 24th. Over the top run and gun is what they call it. And it doesn't look good. I'm just going to put that out there.
I mean,
That game looks awful.
it's
I
a
can't
Contra
even believe
game.
Nintendo would put that in there.
Not many-
Especially
It's because they're
when
advertising.
after that, the trailer was the Contra Anniversary Collection.
That's what they're really advertising.
Yeah, that's I think what they were
for 20
throwing.
bucks. 10 Contra games.
Is
I
the
was-
Contra
And
music
it's
playing
and
in your
they
head right
dropped
now?
it.
I
they
was
dropped
never
it
a fan of
available then.
Contra. Ever.
I was never good at them.
Okay, that would be the reason why I'm never a fan of them.
And then up next was Demon X Machina. So this one, I don't know, I'm torn on this one. The concept and everything just is fantastic on this. This game comes out on September 13th. And in the treehouse, they had 2 demonstrations for this. The concept of it, the going into the Machina, the leveling and assigning of different abilities and weapons and stuff is really cool. But the gameplay, I'm not sold on. I'd really like to get my hands on it
Was
myself.
it final
just to-
gameplay or
It's
or is it
coming out in
still in
September,
development?
so it's still in development. But you would think what we were seeing was pretty close to final, and it just looks to me, if you're looking at it, it looks unpolished and flat. Now, think about Bloodstain though, because that was looking flat and unpolished, and then all of a sudden, with a snap of a finger, Iggy said, "Now how does it look? Doesn't look like poop anymore."
But Bloodstain also, they were. It was a Kickstarted project,
True, it was.
and they threw so much money at this boy. Of course, he's going to be like, "Yeah, it's going to look a lot prettier than before." So I mean, I wouldn't count anything saying it's going to look bad until you actually see more finished. I mean, September is a couple months away. I don't know if they have a gold disc made or not for it or anything like that, or if they have it all completed. So we don't know completely about it, and maybe it's just the person who was playing it showed off the clunky bits. Maybe meh.
The person that was playing was not good at the game that was
doesn't
playing. So no, that doesn't help because
Yeah,
the person's teammates were doing some really cool stuff. This guy was so bad he laid down a floor trap on the ground.
he stepped on himself?
No, but he was like 600 yards away from the fight. So
Well,
he
he
did that
wanted-
for no reason.
He just wanted to show us all what a floor trap looked
Hey,
like.
look
That's
what
what
I
that
can do.
was. He's like, "Look, floor trap."
So up after that one, I don't know if you're into that type of stuff where you're hunting and you're in giant robots.
It looked pretty cool.
You're in battle suits going against corrupted robots. It sounds awesome.
I mean, how
Take
can
a
you
look
go
at
wrong with that?
The next one was a surprise. Panzer Dragoon,
Ugh.
the remake.
Ugh.
I believe that was a Sega Saturn game. And
Oh God, I don't know.
also, Microsoft Xbox tried to revive, and it didn't work out.
it was bad.
So they said that they're going to be staying true to the original and the remake. So I don't think there was. Oh yeah, it does. It launches this winter sometime, but no release date on that one.
I never played the original, so
No, neither have I.
Wasn't it supposed to be like the next part of Legend of Dragoon?
could be. I have Legends of Dragoon, but I never played it either.
Like I don't know much about Panzer Dragoon after seeing because I mean, let's see, this was made in
My game.
the first release was March 10th, 1995.
It's an oldie.
So I mean, this was made quite a long time ago, and it did not look good then. So I mean, hopefully
The trailer looked pretty cool.
it'll look good now.
The next game in the list is one of my top games of E3.
Probably gonna be a Game of the Year contender if it's as good as it looks.
This one is called Astral Chain.
Oh yeah.
This is from Platinum Games. So this is a synergetic action game. You will be put in the role of a rookie officer in a police task force that's looking to stop an interdimensional invasion using a sentient weapon called the Legion. So these legions are everywhere, and you have the ability to chain to them, creating the astral chain, and then you can command them and think of them as like weapon types, because there are many legions and each of them are their own weapon types. They had a couple demonstrations, and just the way that this game looks and plays on the Switch astounds me, and I just can't wait to get my hands on it.
I'm definitely very excited about this one.
This game comes
This
out
and Fire
August
Emblem.
30th.
Right, I saw some of the gameplay when they first announced it too.
Yeah, it just looks so good. We're going to talk more in episode 5 of our E3 coverage for all of what we liked best, and we're going to assign our own awards to E3 itself. So stay tuned for that. We'll deliberate on these games more, but we're just trying to get through the list currently. Next was called Empire of Sin. So this is John Romero's studio popping up, and he's been working with Obsidian Entertainment. Empire of Sin is the name of the game, and in it you'll have to navigate your way through Chicago's Prohibition-era criminal underground.
I love these period pieces.
They have actual characters from the period. They said Al Capone is selectable. They also have made-up characters.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
It looked really cool. The music sounded really cool.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. This is spring 2020 for that one. Up next is another game that you've heard me talk about on this show to great length. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Got another cinematic trailer in the Direct, and then they did 2 segments on the Treehouse Live showing the gameplay, and I just cannot wait to get my hands on this one. This is Marvel characters crossing over with Diablo, basically. Think that. You get Marvel characters and you're running dungeons. And then they brought in the Infinity Trials, which are never ending. And they announced a DLC pack, Season Pass. So you're going to get the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and the Marvel Knights.
I don't know anything about the Marvel Knights.
I'm thinking Moon Knight and all them.
Oh, Silver Knight or Silver Samurai?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gone
So-
for me. The Knights part didn't really attract me. I played the first Ultimate Alliance.
Dude, Ultimate Alliance
I thought it was
is
fun.
Yeah, X-Men Legends Days, and then Ultimate Alliance, and then Ultimate Alliance 2 did the Civil War story, and then Ultimate Alliance 3 is doing the Black Order, so the Thanos and the Infinity Stones.
That's going to be awesome.
And this comes out July 19th. Cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, that
Up
did
A lot,
look
next.
really
of,
awesome.
lot of July going on there.
Yeah, July. Yeah, and people always say, "Oh, summer's no time to release games." Well, they're releasing games.
They're coming.
365.
Sea of Solitude is coming out July 5th.
Yeah. There's no break anymore. Up next was Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yo, have you ever played Crypt of the Necromancer?
No, featuring
It's so
The Legend
fun.
of Zelda.
It is amazing. So this is all a rhythm based game. So it's
Yeah.
all literally rhythm all the time. It's gonna be amazing.
So I'm not sure why they chose to do this, but during the direct, they said, and you'll be able to check this game out when it launches tomorrow.
Yeah, why not?
So not today, like they usually do.
I mean,
Because that's the thing at E3. It's usually, and it launches now, or it launches today. But they were like, and it launches tomorrow.
maybe it could have
It's
been.
like,
Maybe some
we
guy
need
was like,
one more day.
he's like, I need one more day.
It's just not there yet.
It's almost there, but
Cadence isn't tight.
we're at the
Final
Cade
tweak.
part of it. We need the Ents.
Here's one that I think we were supposed to get excited for. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Ugh.
I think it's like their
50th,
Something
1000th,
like-
billionth.
Mario Party was a hit last year.
Well,
let's face it.
They're also. I mean, Mario and Sonic have had competitive games
So
together.
I'm thinking this is like their. We don't have Mario Party this year. Let's just try to do something that has mini games and stuff. And Mario Sonic at the Olympics.
Yep.
And then the announcement came for Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Kevin lost his damn mind.
Everyone's
Lost my
squealing.
goddamn mind.
But Kevin, this
But-
game is not your style of game.
No, it is.
I will say this 1,000
This is
times.
my game. I will play this game.
Didn't like Stardew. Didn't try Stardew.
This is Stardew.
This is Stardew.
Except as a villager, and
Yeah.
that's it.
But it's better. It's Animal Crossing.
Okay, you're right. Just let him
Okay.
But
believe
these
it.
farming games, I just don't understand. Like, this is right in my
This is
wheelhouse.
different. This is different.
How?
It's Nintendo,
How is this
man.
any
Nintendo
different
just
from
has
all
a
of my
feel
mobile
to it.
type games that you always bitched to me about? Oh,
Yeah.
you're wasting your time. You should be playing real
Okay,
games.
one, there won't be any cooldowns or ads popping up in this game for you to wait to play the game, or you can
Yeah,
pay
that's,
real
that's
money.
what you have for free games. But continue.
That is not going to happen in this. So
This is a paid game. I would not expect a paid game to have ad content.
only if it comes from EA. Ouch.
Wow.
So
I mean, Plants vs. Zombies 2 doesn't have
tell that to
cooldowns.
Need for Speed. $60 and you get a cooldown when you buy a part.
Yikes.
New Horizons,
awful.
however, Animal Crossing New Horizons was slated to come out in 2019. However, it got delayed to March 20th, 2020, for the reason being Nintendo did not want to impose crunch on their employees.
Yay!
Good guy,
Finally,
Nintendo.
I'm proud of them
Me too.
because people don't need to live at their work having stress breakdowns because crunch.
So then they had a Nintendo Switch games sizzle reel, which packed tons of games in there. And some of the ones in there were Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch,
That's amazing.
Yes, please.
Dragon Quest Builders 2, and others. And then another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate moment came when Banjo-Kazooie were finally revealed.
People lost their goddamn minds at that too.
Yeah.
I was wondering where they were going with it at first.
Well, they are a Microsoft property now because they are from the publisher or developer Rare, and Rare is part of Microsoft now.
Right.
So this is technically
It's a handshake.
it's a Microsoft Nintendo crossover, but Banjo-Kazooie debuted on the Nintendo 64 before Rare joined Microsoft.
Gotcha.
And on the Nintendo 64, they also made a game called Diddy Kong Racing, which was a really good kart racer.
I would lose my damn mind.
That will never come.
I mean, there's hope. It's rare.
No, don't do that to me. And then
Oh, that's what it really is.
the final reveal was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel.
Oh,
Y'all expired.
God.
Don't really have any details on it other than it's still in the Breath of the Wild engine, which is a fantastic one.
Do you need a lot of details right now? Or are you just satisfied by going sequel, period, the end, period?
The only things that we know is that it's at the end of the first one. That's
we know that.
And then all the speculation from what they find, they believe that's actually Ganondorf.
Yeah, that's what the speculation is. And the other thing we know is that the developers had so many DLC plans and ideas that the studio had said, that's enough to make a sequel. So they did.
Make a sequel.
So that was the Nintendo Direct E3 presentation. Any other thoughts on that before we move on to Square Enix?
Do we even have enough time for Square Enix?
Yep. We got enough time.
Man, that was a lot of time we just talked about Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo really knocked it out of the park this year.
They did.
So.
No wrongdoings with them. That's per the usual.
Sure. We're going to go through the Square Enix conference quickly.
Oh, yeah?
And then we're going to come back to the first game.
Okay.
Because really, that's what this conference is all about.
Nah, they're not.
Okay, just from the start of it.
This conference is all about showing you
we already
Final Fantasy VII Remake in action.
There's more to that, but
they started out with 15 minutes, and it looks great.
Yes.
It looks great.
My God. I was so upset about this game and the amount of time I waited, and then I watched and I'm like, oh no, the fanboy just took over and I couldn't stop screaming at it.
They pleased the fanboys, and they pleased everybody that were crying on any form of social media, because we've been crying, where's Tifa? And she came in and said, it's my turn, and started kicking ass.
I can't wait to play as her. I think it's good. Like, I love how every character has their own fluid combat.
And the banter
is amazing.
The banter.
I showed you the actual conversation, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's so good.
Yes. So, to put in perspective, our spokes cats are named after Final Fantasy characters. This is how much I love this game. I am so excited.
Now, me, I've been deluded, and I don't love it as much, but this was one of the first games that I played as like a JRPG. And I played it around the same time it was released, and it was amazing, at least at that point. But now that I'm older, the game has lost a lot of value. But I'm hoping with the amount of things that they're putting into this. Oh yeah, we're not supposed to talk about this right now, right? We're supposed to.
We weren't supposed to, but we're into it, so let's get into it.
So what I'm saying about this, because I've been trying to stress this during our conversations together. This whole disc, the 2 discs, it is strictly Midgar. The amount of actual story they're going to build up with is going to be insane.
It is.
So worth the wait.
So the amount of plot holes and all those parts of the story where you're sitting there going, huh? It's going to be changed. Yep. I'm hoping. I mean,
totally gone.
Filled in.
I'm hoping
they had room to shade it in, fill it in, do some background. So, that's the reason why I didn't care when we first found out that it was episodic. I did not care because I'm like, you know what? I had faith in them. I had faith that they were going to fill in all the gaps, because there's so much, that game had so much stuff that you could do, and not enough time to do everything in it. Like, you could grind for 100 hours and still miss a lot of stuff.
I played it through most of the actual game itself, except for 2 bosses that I refuse to spend time playing and beating. But we're not going to talk about that.
I beat them all.
I think it's safe to say.
I said no.
That's how you can, this was my first real game. I got Final Fantasy VII. I don't care.
No, we're not. Yeah,
I'm out. I got Final Fantasy VII on my 14th birthday on the computer.
Wow.
As a port. And that was my first real game. I mean, we had Monopoly and CD-ROM, whatever, Myst, which nobody understood how to play it anyway. So
let's not talk about this. This is complicated.
It doesn't really matter, but this was the first one. I got it on my birthday, and I put so many hours into that. 100 hours the first run through, and then I was on my second run through a year later, and then my house burnt down. So then I found it on some shitty eBay knockoff disc copy bootleg, but I played it Somehow I got it to work. I had to like go make some workarounds. But I play this game almost every single year. Just it means that much to me. So I am willing to give them a chance to do it right.
So, with a game that means that much to you,
I was going to keep going.
when you saw the gameplay, you thought, what?
I mean, you sat next to me and you're like, are you okay?
I did say that because I thought we lost her.
I threw my phone. It was my dad's birthday. Like, I just like,
I'm sitting there.
So,
Okay, so I had to work that night. And I'm sitting there in my work uniform next to him, hustled to get ready, and I'm watching. And it's just like Christmas. It is like the best Christmas.
and then it starts off with the same little, the ding, ding, ding.
That's the intro.
I
Dead.
got chills. I got chills right now just thinking
No,
about
you
it.
got what you got was a demonstration of the care and quality of the studio.
So, yes, I'm excited.
So what I think is
Jake needed a moment.
So what I think is going to happen with this, and this is what I've stressed about so far. I tried to give examples earlier today. I think that this is going to be the end. Is this technically a spoiler if it's been 20 years? Like,
I don't know, man.
So
I just
It's
don't
going to
know
be a whole
anymore.
other generation that get a chance to get their hands on it.
'Cause
so
I think this is so different, but the same.
so
It's hard to tell.
based on my thoughts
Just
on
tread
this.
carefully.
You're right. I think there's going to be two things that are going to be different about this game. The ending is going to be open. So obviously it's going to be an ending where it stops, and then you get to play continuously throughout Midgar.
Which would make sense, especially with
the amount of space, it's 2 discs. It's going to have so much to go through.
So yeah, this release is 2 discs. They said each disc is the length of a full game,
Oh my God.
and this is part 1 of the project.
How many parts?
We don't know.
I'm okay. Like they
We
want to
don't
keep
know
going.
how many parts.
They want to keep going.
We
I'm
don't
willing.
know how many discs.
So
I think it's safe to say this will be probably the biggest Final Fantasy project as far as single player goes.
agreed.
Because if you look at something like
Hold
Final
up.
Fantasy 14, that's just gigantic. So
Do you think there might be multiplayer for it based on how the characters are created?
I don't know. I don't
I would
see
hope
that.
not.
I mean,
I
comrades.
don't want it.
I don't want them doing that.
If they do,
Comrades is amazing.
if they do another like a spin-off that's separate from the game, that's one thing. But
If they
I don't-
continue Comrades and bring some of these assets into Comrades, then that could be
That'd be
something
dope.
major.
So, not to interrupt everybody, but I'm going back to the thing that I was talking about. So, in the original Final Fantasy VII, at the end of Midgar, you're not supposed. You leave. You can't come back for a while. That's the whole thing. I think that's where it's going to
and
end.
it's a disc change.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's
I think
gonna
that's an
be it.
appropriate ending before you get to explore the whole world. But I think Midgar has so much stuff that's like, are we going to see Loveless?
Yes, I think we're going to see a lot of it. So,
Like,
here's the big thing that I think is going to happen. You're going to have teleporting. You're going to be able to move between parts at the end of the game. I think that's going to be an infinite thing. You're going to go right back in, and it's going to reset back before the final part of the thing. So I'm not going to say exactly what happens.
Yeah,
but
don't do that.
It's going to reset back to the final part, and then you're going to get, just like in Final Fantasy 15, there's going to be endgame content that just appears. And then there you go.
That's a great idea.
You're going to, and I think there's going to be a level cap. So I think you can only level up to X amount, and then that's the end.
Yeah,
I mean, it
makes
makes sense if they want to keep the continuity
Right.
consistent.
So I think you can only you're going to be able to like, and I'm only basing this off the games that I've ever played that are similar to this. So like all the dot hack games that I've ever played that have the similar context of being able to move your character from game to game to game. You capped out and you cannot go any further. Like you cap out and then you get the best of the best in that. And then usually if you cap out and move on to the next area, you are super strong for a pretty decent amount of time, and then you go back to being steady again.
One of my favorite things is when you started off being all badass when you left Midgar, and then you encountered the Midgar Zalem, and you're like, whoa. Like, I don't know of anybody who started off prepared for that kind of, like, just the jump in difficulty.
It's going to be insane.
I'm anticipating, I want them to keep that the same, because there's so much that happened in 7 in the first act that I want that feeling of challenge and surprise to still be there.
I think it's going to be, and I think just because of how much room and space they have, you're going to see scenes that were never ever truly explained from the first game, and you're going to see things that are going to be much more prevalent now.
I mean, the war with Wu Tai.
Okay, stop. I want to talk about what we actually saw, though. Not what you have experienced prior.
So, I mean, Cloud fought a big robot.
Cloud and Barrett did.
Yeah.
And during that fight, which was 15 minutes, that fight was so cinematic and so polished. And the banter between Cloud and Barrett was
so natural.
Incredible. Yeah, it really was. And then showing off the two different battle mechanics.
Yep.
You have a slightly different version of the Final Fantasy 15 battle version, or system, I should say. And then you have the traditional turn-based.
Mm-hmm. What do you think when they get the full cast of characters in? Because right now you're only going to have 4 at maximum.
Mm-hmm.
And no, 5 altogether. And I know you can only choose, I think, 3 for Final Fantasy 7. Do you think they're going to keep the same mechanics of having 3 characters, or it's going to be a full cast and you can select between the full cast?
I think they're going to keep it with the 3.
Yeah,
and I think
they're going to stay true.
And here's another thing I think they're going to have to do is they're going to have to make it so you have to have certain characters in the party. So you know how Barrett is normally long ranged, except he has like 2 weapons that aren't. I think they're going to have it where you have to have at least 1 long range character in the party at all times.
That was the challenge with party selection to begin with. You had to choose who did what best.
This is going to be much different because now it's not rows of characters fighting against each other. It is now literally that thing is on a wall and Cloud can't hit it because he does not hit things from long range.
Right. And I was really excited about that. I was like, that's perfect. That is perfect. Because I mean, in the one battle in the original game where you're on an elevator, you had to plan ahead because if you didn't, you were boned.
You get pretty.
That'll happen in this as well.
So that's kind of a tie into that. I like Final Fantasy games are always awesome when it comes to the monster design and seeing it rendered as like what it would look like a realistic model. Holy shit! Right? I lost my freaking mind. And then like the battle music, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm trying to remember what the actual like experience was in the sewers. I think it was Zephyr.
Something like it. Yeah. Seeing all the creatures fully rendered and it's like
the Sahagins. Oh my god.
Yeah, this game looks gorgeous.
I freaked out when I saw all that stuff because you see, for me, like I don't know if you played Final Fantasy 7.
I did. I didn't finish it.
But when I saw those monsters and those bosses, I knew exactly what was happening. Like I knew.
I know. So I'm like going through like, okay, and the difference is like you're not going to have the vanished characters. Like I imagine you're probably going to be able to see them just like you can in the other games. So the perspective, the vanishing point and some perspectives and stuff that you had, the hidden stuff that's like, oh, there should be something over here. Are they going to keep all those spots the same?
Do you think they're going to have like the full roster of characters walk around with you though when you're just normally walking around, or no?
I could see that happening.
Because I mean, the only thing I could see is like they just vanish, like they just.
So they'll all have to go to different places, but like think about the method of transportation after that one village that you had to go on that special mission.
Yeah, no, I just think it's going to be your party with you. No.
So, they mentioned the cell phone type thing.
So this is also a thing to say that, and I'm going to say this, like once you get a full party, you're going to want to switch out characters because most likely you're going to want to hear all that has to be said, because I guarantee with this game, the story that you're going to go through is not just going to be what you're experiencing through progressing the story, but through the character development, because it's now a much different game than before. They don't just stop with blocks of text popping up and saying, hey, this, and this. No, it is literally on the go motion.
What's the full roster? 5?
No.
Much larger?
Barrett, Cloud, Tifa,
All right,
Aerith.
don't do that.
Yuffie, Red.
Don't name them all.
Hidden one from that one place.
Oh my god, now I gotta do the count
again. So, no, probably not then.
I think it's 7 or 9.
Because,
Maybe
I
it was
mean,
like
in
9.
Final Fantasy 15, all 4 of them were always on the screen.
Right, but that's a different kind of game.
So what I think is, I mean, I think that certain scenarios you're going to have all the characters
But
pop up.
each,
You're gonna have 'em
each
there,
time,
yeah.
like even just through the regular game, there were different times when you didn't have access to some of your people.
Yeah.
So, and you got to choose how
Oh.
to strategize.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's going
you
to
get
be
a
wicked.
choice
Now that I just
moments,
thought about
yeah.
that, actually, because there's going to be a lot of scenes in the story where there's going to be only certain people playing.
Yeah.
So I
There-
think that's going to be wild.
Oh, you saw that in that battle in the gameplay. And
Also, it's really nice to see some of the supporting characters from the first act in full regalia.
and
Yeah.
Midgar itself looks amazing.
Like,
Oh,
So,
Wedge
yes,
and Biggs.
Final Fantasy VII was shown, and it looks fantastic, and it's coming out in March 2020.
I would throw away every single other game that I saw, including Fire Emblem and Astral Chain, for this game.
Don't do that.
I won't, but I would.
I would too.
So let's be real here. This game has so much meaning to so many different people. It was the gateway drug for JRPGs. for
Many
me.
of them, yes.
And while some people can be all snappy and going, oh, it's the subpar, blah, 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 blah. I've heard those arguments. I don't care.
You heard it from that guy right there.
I've
Mr.
heard it
Jake.
from other people.
I've played this game enough to know that the story that it came with was not the best story ever.
It wasn't the best translation either. That's the big problem. It
But
was not translated properly.
But we now have an opportunity to enjoy it as it was intended to be, hopefully. And
Let me know your thoughts after you play the full version of this. And then tell me how good of a story.
we're
it is.
going to do
you're-
an entire
You're
week long or five podcasts.
Literally, I'll break the whole game down and I'll tell you exactly what I feel, think, and also experience in the
and
whole
I
want
will
that.
be, Jake and I will be
I
sitting
do
there
want
like, all right, we got this together.
But, ladies and gentlemen, the show must go on.
okay.
Final Fantasy VII was the first game shown,
Yeah, but that's
not the only game shown.
Yeah.
There was another that was looming in this conference.
Not Parasite Eve.
One that must have been shown.
Still not
One
Parasite
that
Eve.
they said they would show.
I wanted Parasite
And
Eve.
one that they waited until the very end of the very long show to
Didn't
show.
get Parasite Eve.
That game was Marvel's Avengers.
You see,
Finally shown.
let's talk about that actually.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Like,
Because here's Jake's hot take. It's coming.
so I watched that whole thing, at least the actual commercial and the showing of it so far.
Trailer, you mean.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have nothing against what I saw. I have absolutely nothing against it. I don't think it's bad. I don't think anything is problematic with it. I think that they showed you a game that's probably not even close to being finished, and people shat on it so fast because it didn't resemble what they wanted out of the Avengers.
Because they didn't look
Crystal
like the movie
Dynamics
characters.
is making what's looking to me like it's going to be a very good game. I'm with you on this. I thought we were going to have some debating going on.
no.
but
Yeah, that's
I'm
why his
totally-
eyebrows reached his hairline. He's like,
Totally
oh,
for
I'm
this
surprised.
game. This is exactly what I was hoping would be shown for an Avengers game.
The complaints for it was like when they got to play some of it, they said it like looked like a PlayStation 2 game or something like that. It looked very chunky. Like, let me tell you right now, if this is this beta still?
These it's alpha, and these are the same complaints that people had against Spider-Man.
Yeah, all y'all can at me about that. Look, this game is going to be amazing because
People hated the textures of Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and they said, "Oh, look at these graphics are terrible." And
I don't know
Insane.
what
they're doing
drugs
the
they're
same
smoking,
thing.
but it looked great.
They're doing the same exact thing with this one, and they're more upset because the MCU is not involved here,
correct.
and you now have 10 years of films. So when you see the Avengers,
You don't. This is not the
Captain
Avengers.
America, and you see Captain America in this trailer front and center, and then you hear him, it's not Chris, so you're just like,
What?
okay, this is a video game. This is a separate property, just like the comics are separate properties. And
but
how many
see,
iterations
ca-
of
casual
Thor have you
fanboys
seen?
and girls.
It's time to face facts. This is definitely not the universe that you watch on TV.
I
and-
will say, though, I would like to have seen maybe the writing of the dialogue more modernized,
It'll get better.
because some of the stuff that Cap and Thor are saying are super retro comic book dialogue.
I mean,
But that might be what they're going for.
I was gonna say that might be their niche.
If you're going for that, then you don't use the Marvel Cinematic outfits.
I will say this though: if you are going for it too, you should probably learn that niche is now
gone,
even
man.
tossed
It's
away
gone.
in most of the comic books now.
When people think of Thor, they're thinking Thor Ragnarok. They're not thinking Thor.
Yeah.
It's Ragnarok and beyond.
Hemsworth.
Yeah. Like just
Chunky Thor.
Just, ugh. But no, the
The dude Thor.
Dude Thor. That's what it
game
is.
is taking place at A-Day, Avengers Day. Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow,
Spider-Man.
and Thor are unveiling a high-tech Avengers headquarters in San Francisco.
Cover Spider-Man.
No Spider-Man.
They mentioned
Including-
Spider-Man.
They did not. They didn't.
They said,
They did not
and
say
I quote,
anything.
by the way, you're gonna get something special if you have it on the PlayStation 4.
That's all they said.
Spider-Man.
No, you get
Kevin's hopeful.
DLC weapons first,
He's tentatively excited.
most likely.
All you're gonna hear
Because
is the flip.
Actually,
the shock to this to me was
realistically, Kevin lost his mind at this too because he's like, "Oh my God, they're tying it in! They're tying it in!"
yeah, and they didn't do it. The bastards.
Nah,
I think that's the hint though. I think they're gonna.
I think it is because if you played Marvel Spider-Man, and this is a minor spoiler, Avengers Tower is in New York, and if you swing by Avengers Tower in Spider-Man, he says, "Oh, the Avengers aren't here because they're out west right now." This Avengers game is taking place on A-Day in San Francisco.
you know, out west.
Hey, look at that tie-in. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's happening.
So I'm with you. It's happening. So
It's the first
what I
time we've
didn't
agreed
know
on
was
anything.
happening
Second
was
time.
Oof.
this game is getting multiplayer. And it's going to be, this is a game as a service game, a live service game. So there's going to be tons of content added to the game. I don't know if it's going to be like raids or what, but you're going to team up as the Avengers and go out on quests and do stuff. I'm assuming it's all PvE, which is player versus environment instead of player versus player. But they did say there will be microtransactions. However, all of the DLC is included with the game.
Oh, most likely the microtransactions are probably aiming towards
Costumes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a play to win, but probably. I mean, every
Speed stuff up.
yeah. So,
I guess
We'll see.
I guess most of the criticism for the way the game looks,
I
you
heard
didn't really get the demo. You got trailer, and it looked like they were taking parts because in one of the scenes, Banner jumps out of a helicopter and transforms into the Hulk, and he lands on the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, and he starts running up and he starts smashing stuff. That's gameplay, and they kind of cut gameplay into the trailer and made an extended trailer, so you're getting little hints with the HUD off of a cinematic experience. So you got a little taste of gameplay, and you saw there was a flight scene with Iron Man. Then that was gameplay as well. But some of the people that were able to play it were saying the mechanics of Iron Man aren't that great. They were citing that it kind of felt like a shooter instead of feeling like Iron Man. And if you played a game that came out earlier this year called Anthem, they basically made you feel like Iron Man. So I don't know. I'm optimistic for this game.
I only
it has
heard
a
that it
May
was-
2020 release, so it's coming fast.
I only heard that it was like
we've
people
got a
thought it
little
was
bit of
ugly.
time.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, people are really upset that
I mean,
these faces
The
aren't the faces
characters
they're
don't
used to.
look like the movies. It is what it is. Deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Deal with it.
we're
At
gonna
me,
get
all
we're
of
gonna
Twitter.
We're gonna get more info on this game in the upcoming months.
I just
and,
don't think it's
hopefully we can
fair-
get our hands on with it.
I just don't think it's fair to expect movie characters and stuff from what's obviously supposed to be a standalone game. It's supposed to be tying into something else.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
This
I
is a
don't expect
standalone
it,
thing.
I don't expect my comic book characters to look like the movie people, especially because that's the original property. So deal with it.
Yeah.
As long as the story's good, the gameplay's good, then We have nothing to complain about.
Big ol' whah.
So, good luck to you, Crystal Dynamics. We're rooting for you. We know you can make a great game.
Yeah, and all those who say otherwise, you heard my Twitter in the beginning. At me.
I think it was Shippy_D at him.
Oh, he'll fight you too.
He probably will.
Up next was, well, not up next, but in any particular order, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is getting a remaster.
On your freaking phone is what that's going to be.
Yeah,
that's
I'm just
so
like jumping
fun.
around now.
Nah, but that Crystal, the Crystal
Is that
Chronicles
the same one that was on the Wii, the original Wii?
was on not the Wii, it was on the GameCube, and
But one of them was on the Wii. One of the Crystal Chronicles.
I think they had a 2.
Maybe.
It's a remastered edition, it's called, and it has an MMO mode.
But that was a lot of fun.
This is on your phone.
Yes,
This is insane.
it is.
Anybody who says otherwise, that's nuts. I'm so excited for that just because I've never played it, and it's going to be on my phone. I'm going to be playing a game on my phone like that. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I'm ecstatic.
As long as I don't have to have internet connection. 'Cause that is not always the case.
Well, the MMO mode, you will.
Yeah.
We'll stick with the remasters. The Last Remnant remastered. Old school, man. Old school RPG right there.
It was a PlayStation 3 title, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't
Before that.
it? Was it?
Yeah, I think that was...
I never played it, so I'm not familiar.
I don't think that was even on PlayStation, was it?
It
I
was.
thought it was Xbox.
But now it's available on the Switch.
I'm about to tell you right
I thought
now.
it was 360. But it's available on the Switch now. You're right. That released in the conference.
It was PlayStation.
It was?
PlayStation, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, not PlayStation 3.
So it was...
So, around.
So it was a 360 game, yeah, I thought so. Then they showed off Dragon Quest Builders 2 as well, and Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
Also coming to the Wii and Switch. I mean, same thing.
Then there was an interesting trailer. Probably not interesting. They were just trying to pad the show out by showing people's reactions to playing Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
But the thing about this is that's not as stupid as you're thinking. They're showing a very, very tiny company that they've fostered.
Don't nod.
Yep, and people are, which are now they're bigger than they were.
Yep.
But people are experiencing this game and playing it, and that title that fucking blanked my mind just in a second.
Life is Strange?
Yeah, that's the one. That title is Life is Strange is one of the better games, at least in the sense of a Telltale-esque game where you have chronological games episodically.
Yeah.
Just like Final Fantasy VII Remake. But anyways, it's
Life is Strange is probably top tier for the
it's amazing.
adventure
and
game.
showing the love of people playing the game. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It is a padding though. So I agree with you there. I think it's a cute touch.
Here's one that jumped out that I got excited for because it reminded me of the old arcade days. Yes, people, we used to go to the arcade and play games
Yeah.
and spend money.
A lot of money. House of the
So
Dead.
many quarters.
Literally, I spent many monies on House of the Dead.
This one is coming in 2020. It's called Circuit Superstars. It's the top-down view of the little cars going around the track. Remember those games from the arcades, man? You had the steering wheel.
That's actually at my work.
You got that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
man,
was.
That's good. I love that shit. So this one is much better looking, and I'm sure the physics are much improved.
And it's an indie label too, so that's pretty cool.
About to buy a steering wheel for it.
A steering wheel.
It's not going to help.
Motion controls. Man. Motion controls.
It's gonna
Play
gonna
in
help.
VR.
Would you mind talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 again?
What about it? What are you asking me?
If you don't mind, then their DLC.
Oh, I don't know
Kingdom
what the
Hearts
fuck's going
3
on with that, so I can't really.
Remind
I can't tell you
is
anything.
coming out.
I watched that and I said what. So I mean, I don't.
The antagonist perspective?
Yeah, good for them.
No idea what's going on. More cutscenes are coming.
I mean,
Prepare yourself.
I don't know if
As
they're gonna.
it says in the article, it showcased the trailer that left as many questions as the final sequence of the aforementioned game.
Preach. Like, did you guys actually watch that? It was confusing as fuck.
I watched it. I was like,
I have no idea what's going on.
I squinted at it, and then I was like, the story as told by the antagonist? I
Maybe
looked
they were
around.
explaining
We're
like
moving on.
some of the. Yeah, let's go.
That's fine.
No.
Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers.
Yo, Tom Holland is in the commercials for that. Did you know
Yes.
that?
Oh,
Yeah, he's big on this game. So
He's-
apparently this is a gigantic expansion. That's
yes, it's going to be huge. So Shadowbringers is.
You get 2 new jobs.
So no one quote me on this because I've only finished the first part of the MMO. So the first vanilla portion of the MMO, which is so long. I'm pretty sure Shadowbringers is where you're actually changing from the Warrior of Light to the Warrior of Darkness, and you're going to be fighting probably against the things that you've protected this whole entire time.
I
Taking
have
a stab.
played Final Fantasy XIV for 1 week when I did the week trial on PlayStation 4, and I said, I don't think this game is going to be playable on PlayStation 4. I need to check it out. So I checked it out. It was very playable on PlayStation 4. And I then thought, why don't other games do this and come out on console?
The thing about it is it's still very playable, just with an actual controller.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Shadowbringers is probably going to be the best expansion out there, and every time they ever have a commercial for these games, it's just the same as
It's
like
so good.
It's almost like competing against WoW, but never ever. Where the commercials are so cinematic and excellent, it's insane.
I would say this is,
Closest competitor.
yeah, I'm not going to say it's better, but I will say it is something that's worthy of a successor, maybe.
It's definitely, at least when it comes to this, the closest competitor to WoW.
Not previous to the relaunch. Don't forget that, because this game originally launched as something that everybody thought was just going to get scrapped.
Yep, Garbro. And then they said, "Yep, we're
it was
remaking it all."
completely redone. And
that one poor bastard that
No,
had
it's
the
fantastic.
subscription.
the one guy was left. But over 16 million people play this game.
It's amazing.
And I actually have read that this is a lot of people's favorite story of any Final Fantasy game.
Oh, now I want to play it.
I mean, there's a lot of so this takes place in the sense of like MMO style games. Anybody who's played an MMO knows that it's fetch quest upon fetch quest. This does not break that mold. It actually enforces that mold to the point where I'd rather shoot myself than play half of it. The story, when it actually gets into the story, is amazing, but the actual portions where you have to grind out to do stupid quests, I'd rather punch myself in the forehead and hopefully I get a concussion and forget all about it.
And only remember the story.
Bro, I can't stress to you. There was one scene where I finally beat the final boss of the main story, and I'm like, yes, victory. And they're like, yeah, we gotta move. Can you make us tea first? And I'm like,
WTF?
I had to make you tea? I fucking just saved the planet.
Tea first, then congratulations.
It was awful.
I'd be like, listen,
I do love it though. I recommend
your
it to
job
anybody.
is to serve.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
I had to move
Fetch that
boxes
tea.
and then get tea. That's what I was doing.
On August 22nd, you will be able to get your hands on Oninaki, a action RPG. This game looks so beautiful.
This is one of the other ones that I'm super excited for.
I'm excited for
This
it.
is not a Switch exclusive, but it is coming to Switch and Xbox One and PS4, I believe. Maybe PC. You have to look into it for
Which
that.
one are you getting it for?
This is probably going to be on PlayStation.
It looks so good. I've been excited for this game since I first saw the announce. Was it last year?
Yeah.
They announced it last year.
I think it was the Game Awards.
And the theory behind it's super interesting. Like deals with death and reincarnation and things like that, and helping the dead to not maraud. I think, if I remember correctly. I'm interested in the lore for sure.
Right.
And it looks really pretty, and it's such a different perspective to be telling. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, that's different. It's not your typical.
You are the hero who can traverse the worlds of the living and of the dead. And there are many different classes and abilities that you can earn and level up. And it's like a dungeon crawler action RPG.
Right.
In a Japanese anime setting. So it looks fantastic. Can't wait to get more into that one. Then they had War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. If you didn't have enough Final Fantasy in the Square Enix conference,
welcome
here's
to
some more.
Yeah, here's the phone game. By the way, here's more phone game.
Oh, that's why I tuned this one out.
Yeah, meh.
Yeah, and then they had a brand new reveal for a game called Outriders, which is a 3-player co-op.
That one looks really interesting.
I don't remember that one.
It was just a trailer, didn't show anything of gameplay, but you just
The
saw some
character
of the
design looks cool.
art style, character design, and all we know is that it can support up to 3 co-op players, and it's a shooter in a bloody future.
Oh, that looks... Okay, I
That's
remember it.
pretty much it for the Square Enix showcase.
Except for the Final Fantasy VIII remaster.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
You forgot
Final
about that
Fantasy VIII remaster is getting done, and people freaked out for that, too.
Yes.
They took the slot of the missing party, which was Sony, and
Like I
last year, Square Enix only had a 20-minute video, and it was atrocious.
This was almost
This was
like
a
an
live
hour and a
event
half, I'm pretty sure.
on stage.
Yeah, because I had to
developers
leave
out
for
there.
work. I missed the last part of it.
It's insane.
Maybe a bit too long, but overall, it was fantastic.
It's
I'm
never
saying
too
maybe
long.
a bit too long
Yeah.
because they made me wait to the end to see Avengers. And I don't know.
They came out swinging.
I just want more from Avengers before I say if I'm really hyped for it or not. I
don't
mean, it's
think-
the Avengers. How could you not be hyped for the Avengers?
It can't be bad. I don't think it's going to be
Because
bad
there's
yet.
a very real chance that it could really suck. It's either going to be really great or it's going to really suck.
I think
So
it'll be fine.
So that is show 2 of our E3 coverage
Out of 17.
out of 5 that covered Nintendo's E3 and Square Enix's.
Basically Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Next week is show 3, which we will be talking about Ubisoft and Bethesda. So stay tuned to those, and we'll see you next week. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being on the panel. Have a great week.
see you next week.
Bye.